insisting that the housing conditions must be improved upon really urgently. Other questions are connected to the manner in which police relate to the opposition, its role in ensuring public order, on top of other activities such as recruiting and training of crime preventers, who some MPs described as a militia group being prepared ahead of the 2016 elections. In the recent past, the Ugandan Police has been accused of using crime preventers to beat up members of the public under the famous Chiboko squad. The opposition has demanded for a debate on the activities of the Inspector General of Police, General Kali Kazura, who they accuse of taking partisan positions when executing his duties. They also questioned the budget line for managing public order. The opposition also proposed alternatives that they think can improve the workforce. The work of that police force. So now we discuss some of these issues as we try to understand the state of affairs at the Uganda Police Force and what can be done to improve on some of the areas that remain questionable. Our guest, Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi, Shadow Minister for Internal Affairs, Member of Parliament for Butambala County. Most welcome, Honorable Kivumbi.
Dear listeners, I think I must take this opportunity to be here once again.
Yes.
It's quite a while since I was last here, and even you, Edmond, it's quite some time, but you are doing terrific.
Well,
and
from the looks of it,
the looks don't lie.
Well, we're glad to have you here. We fought a unique battle campaigning on a shoestring budget. That's a unique thing. We also are joined by the Commissioner of Police, who's also the spokesperson for the Uganda Police Force, Fred Enanga. He's joining us on the line. He'll be with us in a short while. He's a spokesman for the National Police. Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi, why is the Ugandan Police training militias?
This has been a trend in our politics. I've been a keen political participant and observer of political trends in this country. At every time of a major political event, even after 5 years, there seems to be increased activity in creating a political force, kind of militarize it and give it a cover of a security apparatus in this country. I think after 1996, when the elections were rigged purely through the Chivera kind of arrangement, where you could go in the booth and with the Chivera and put in a pack of voters, I think the powers that be changed the tactics, and we saw the emergence of Kalangala Action Plan made by Kakoza Mutale that for all intent and purposes intimidated, violated people's rights, did beat them up in broad daylight with the assistance of police and security organs. From Kalangala Action Plan, they emerged the Chiboko squad. I mean, people in Kampala and elsewhere saw emergence of goons that for intent and purposes used to emerge from CPS and descend on humble citizens of this country and beating them up, and that was critical. Now, as we gear up in the last election, I can tell you it seemed to be the most non-violent we've ever had, and the tactics then changed. It changed to outright bribery and vote buying, and I think it's the most expensive this country has ever witnessed. I mean, I can't remember how much money the head of state, President Museveni, had to spend in that elections. It was an obscene amount of money. Now, we are nearing 2016 election. This country is grappling with a huge problem of youth unemployment, and the fear that the rock and anchor of opposition politics is and has been the youth movement in this country. Disorganized as they were or are, they will still remain the potent force that is likely to be at the forefront of the next campaign, and Therefore, using the Inspector General of Police, that's why we question his level of professionalism. And the police, they've gone en masse to recruit majorly from universities, but also in various constituencies across the country. The figure we have is that they are going to recruit 200 per parish in the country. 200 crime preventers in the name of crime preventers per parish in the country. Okay? This is a massive force.
What's the population of a parish? On average?
Even parish is big in the country.
Right.
Yeah, the parish is big.
Yes.
The parish has virtually about 7 to 10 villages.
All right.
Yeah, so it's quite big. In Kampala, here we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people.
Right.
But even in the rural areas, the parish in the rural area, the parish is big. They're going to recruit 200 crime preventers. This is well beyond what you can think of the regular police force. The question is, two questions arise. What is this force ready for? What is it going to be used for? And what is the criteria of who becomes a crime preventer? Do the community concerned participate in the selection of who will train as a crime preventer, or a crime preventer is imposed on a community? Just to take it literally. The other aspect is, what is the legal framework? Okay? What is the policy? What is the regulations? What is the guideline? How do these people, what kind of training do they undertake in 2 weeks? Because it is one issue to have a young man whom you've trained how to shoot a gun and half-baked. Because he's not got the whole strength. Okay? In human rights, in training. It's not self-control. Self-control. You are simply taking them through drills and range shooting. In 2 weeks they are out. Okay? And you unleash such a force.
Some of them were breaking bricks on each other's backs.
Yes.
You saw it on TV.
You saw it on TV. It's horrible. So then that raises the bigger question. The other question is, I have a newspaper with me. Okay?
Yes.
Where the Inspector General of Police. This is a new vision of all papers.
Yes.
Of Wednesday, August 27th, 2014. Where the Inspector General of Police was at Imperial Royal Hotel here in Kampala.
Yes.
Launching what he calls Crime Prevention Coalition Uganda.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Crime Prevention
Coalition
Uganda. And it's headed by an executive director called Caesar Muwanga,
a civilian man.
We are saying, is this a non-government organization? Is it an association registered by guarantee? How is its command within the police structure? Because what we must gather the country is an emergence of a militia. Because elsewhere, these kind of paramilitary groups have never been and will never sustain tactical and strategic peace of any given country. Tactical
Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the paramilitary terms have never been organ that have sustained both tactical and strategic peace of any given country. The recipe for disaster, for rape, for murder, okay, for violence.
Don't say rape. Our soldiers were just being accused by
that's also murder. These guys that you've trained half-baked, okay, they will rape women across they will cause death, they will be violent. And for heaven's sake, this is not the Uganda we want.
But those are things that happened during the Idi Amin. They can't happen now.
Now, what didn't fundamental? What has not happened? What has not happened? Beating up people on the street? What things can happen? Therefore, all that we want to ask, and for heaven's sake, we are very clear about what we want to advocate for at both parliamentary level.
Yeah.
That this is an illegal outfit.
It's an evil outfit.
Okay? Let's say not only illegal outfit. You are training it on which vote?
Let's say this young man should be able to answer those questions. Mr. Enanga, you're welcome to Spectrum.
Yes, Spectrum. Good evening.
Good evening. You speak for the police force. Why are you training these young men and women?
Well, Spectrum and everybody listening, this community of crime preventers is not a new phenomenon as far as community policing is concerned. It is a phenomenon that is under policing. It's a best practice that is being adopted worldwide. It's not something new as far as policing in Uganda is concerned. And of course, you are all aware that we as the police, we do have a mandate to work with members of the public at all levels, and under the community policing expansion program, where we feel that with the 60,000 police officers that we have countrywide, we needed to augment our services by working with the civilian population. Now, the civilians are everywhere in this country. And when we really get people who have offered to volunteer and work with the police within their respective jurisdictions, that is the communities, the villages that they really come from, I really don't find anything wrong with that. We are not coercing anyone, but these are people who are looking at the incidents of crime and the role that they can really play, the problems that are affecting them as far as crime is concerned. When they really come out from their respective villages and they are taking through basic skills and training in as far as crime prevention is concerned, then they go back to the villages and then they work closely with the citizens where they come from. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Like how do they generally operate? How do you pick them? You say they are volunteers. How many do you want?
Now, we have under each and every district, the district police commanders have in their engagements under community policing with the local leaders, have each trained 500 crime preventers. In addition to the numbers that we've been having, these are commemorative events under the police centenary plus activities, and when we get these numbers, we offer training, and it is not training in the military field. We are training these people in various crime prevention techniques and how they can involve with the community and share information that is relevant for the police as far as arrest is concerned, as far as criminals are concerned, and in that form. And then also we've been guiding them in techniques regarding self-reliance and defense, such that if you are attacked, I mean, your life is not at the mercy of a criminal, and the criminals we are talking about who usually fall within the range of 16 to 25. These are, once you have some basic defense and self-reliance techniques, you can guard yourself against them.
Okay, when the community on a professional basis, how will they operate? How will you identify them? Will you give them t-shirts so they can walk around the village, as a Muslim, or will you give them tattoos on the left arm? How will you be able to, and can some of these become crime perpetrators?
No, like I've been saying, it is really not everybody within their localities, okay? Everybody within their locality has a record. And we are not just going to pick on to anyone. We do some vetting in liaison with the local leaders, and of course we do vetting and screen and ensure that we do have the right person.
So you get only good men. You get only good people.
Yes.
And how did you give them t-shirts? How do they operate when they're going about their work? How do you brand them? T-shirts.
I beg your
when they're going about crime prevention, you say they are volunteers. Well, how do they operate? Do they wait to be called upon, or do they operate on their own? Where is the command center for them? You mentioned the police, but how do they operate?
What happens is that we do have a structure that is actually rolled down up to lowest level from the if you look at the structure of our territorial units, we have the commanders at the region, then we have at the district, and then we have at the divisions and stations up to the police post. Now, of course, if there is nothing to prevent, if there is no crime to prevent, if there is no activity, then it does not require them to come to the police post to inform the OC post that, you know what, there is a trend of cattle theft going on in this, in this village like this. If the information is there, we ask on it. If it is not there, then they continue playing the other roles, the civilian life that they're involved in. It's a voluntary thing. They are not paid for it. And we've really seen it happen in all across the boundary, not only with the police, but the Ministry of Health has volunteered. You go to I think you made it clear. Who are assisting in paramilitary, in legal work. We have volunteers under the health sector. So it's really not something new. It's about somebody's willingness to really play a role in their society to address the issues that are affecting them.
Okay, Mr. Enanga. So basically, of course, security is the different kettle of fish. You can't compare it to health, really. So basically, when there's a riot in the neighborhood, you send them text messages and they come, some are sorting and put everyone in order before they go back to their business where they're roasting chicken or whatever it is. Is that how they will do it?
No, it's not the way you're interpreting it, because if it was something that was severely abused and didn't have an impact, probably we should have dropped it. But we've been doing crime prevention and recruiting crime preventers ever since we adopted the community policing model in the 1990s. So it is not a new phenomenon, only that now it is something that is expanding with the community policing arrangements now, that many communities have realized that when you do have crime preventers, they really have the role that they play.
Alright.
Yes.
Okay. So before we get back to the studio, how will you arm them? Will you give them sticks to carry or what?
No, we don't arm them in any way. We've trained them with basic skills where they are able to use apply self-defense techniques, arms, legs, and so on. So they don't require to be armed. But in case they disarm, then they really know how to apply, how to use the gun, how to remove the magazine, remove the bullets, and so on. Other than doing that work and engaging somebody with a gun, yet you don't know how to its applicability.
And sometimes all they need is a stick, so police can provide them with sticks, probably. Honorable Mohamed, what's wrong with this? This is what I'm coming to protect our peace, hard-earned peace. It is important to believe his story. He tells it now.
Thank you, pardon?
I don't want to believe you, but he's going to give us his reasons. I could ask him and say, now, what is Crime Prevention Coalition Uganda? What is it? Why do you suspect? What's wrong with it?
What is it? Is it an NGO? Is it
maybe they're the ones who is it interactions?
No, is it and it was written by the Inspector General of Police. And that means
the Crime Prevention Coalition Uganda is a registered entity. It's an organization that launched, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and it's one umbrella organization that is bringing the respective crime prevention groups countrywide, such that the crime prevention units can easily be regulated, where if there are cases of abuse, then they delink that person from the crime prevention body and have them face the law.
So you have two command centers, one inside and one outside.
Hello.
We have two command centers, one inside of the police uniform and another on the outside. No uniforms. Well, you will have an internal control mechanism, but you'll have another one with this coalition, civilian men managing, heading almost a police force on its own.
It doesn't require us really, because these are civilians, these are crime preventers, they are not directly under the police. Why they came up with the crime prevention coalition is because they really have initiatives of ensuring that the crime prevention campaign and is actually they want to then attract like they were talking of coming up with initiatives like coming up with a circle whereby they can attract resources and then have funds and small-scale loans disbursed to their members.
Mr. Enanga, this is sounding really huge. Mr. Enanga, this is sounding really huge. You don't know about a state-led militia, and then you talk about private initiative. It's going to be an army owned by a private civilian somewhere.
No,
he gives them money.
I don't know why you're really worried. We as the police are not worried at all because, when you find that the abuses are actually pronounced, then it is that you can get to drop. But it is not something new. It is happening everywhere. If you go to all these countries, really, the crime prevention movement has thrived all these years, and it's one of the best policing models that is actually there.
Mr. Enanga,
police, you're not going to find the police everywhere. So if there are people who are volunteering, people whom they are not coercing, then you should really work with them.
It's a good thing.
Yes,
Mr. Enanga,
there are mechanisms of regulating their conduct, their behavior, and the fact that they are civilians, even if they were not civilians, if they are in conflict with the law, then they really set the law. They are not in any way above the law.
Let's take a break. Mr. Enanga, this stay with us, we'll get back so you can explain this matter. And also tell us what kind of arms you'll give them. Sometimes they only need sticks, they don't need guns. This is Spokesman already on with
Legitimate whiskey is different. I am proud that we can now enjoy quality and taste. And style too. I have not felt so original with the liveliness I get each morning after I enjoy legitimate whiskey. Everything seems to be going my way. This is a worthy discovery. Legitimate whiskey is blended from carefully selected Scotch malt, giving it a golden amber appearance with a silky smooth and soothing taste for lasting satisfaction. Legitimate whiskey, a masterfully crafted blend, expertly blended, lighter and styled whiskey. Please enjoy responsibly.
Sorry, my dear. May I put my shopping bag here? Oh, no problem. Thank you. I love the new taxi park. It's much cleaner. Agreed. And speaking of clean, the station looks interesting. I've never seen it before. Look, it's the new laundry powder from Muwanga. I had to try it. Oh, is that Mama? I've heard about it. Apparently, it makes your washing smell sensational. They say this Mama washes cleaner than clean. Such a pretty sachet. Yes, and I'm told that Mama cleans and softens the washing where you need two in one action. My sister says the colors still bright too. Save money, save time, and get the fresh fabric softener all in one with new Mama laundry powder. I think life just got a little easier. Mama knows best. Discover new Mama 2-in-1 laundry powder from Muwanga and wash cleaner than clean. Wash after wash.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90.
Welcome back on Spectrum tonight. Why are MPs concerned about the training of crime preventers by the Ugandan Police? Our guests, Honorable Mohamed, Muwanga, Kivumbi, Shadow Minister for Internal Affairs, is Member of Parliament for Butambala County. Also, Commissioner of Police Enanga. He's a spokesman for the Ugandan Police Force. He's joining us on the line. He will be able to join us on the line later when you call in questions. Honorable Kivumbi, you have been talking about the Chiboko squad. You're saying it's the same thing as them. They're totally different. These men have told you they won't even give them sticks.
What he has not told the listeners is what kind of organization this is. Is it an NGO? Is it a company? And in the Company Act, okay, can you register an organization or a company whose basic dealing would be to prevent crime, which is the sole monopoly of police under the Constitution, because that is a sole responsibility of police. Then too, that's why we are raising the red flag. And what is the relationship between General Kareka here, okay, and Mr. Muwanga? He is a businessman here with lots of money. Okay, are we seeing a trend where someone with billions of money, and you know how they get billions of money in this country, can now have an opportunity to raise a private army and a militia in the country? The defending Somalia, it can't happen here. That's what I've told you. That's how it started. And I sit on the Committee of Defense and Internal Affairs. Now, even in UPDF now, you have an army within an army. There's no such thing. You have a Special Forces Command. Yes. Within the General Command of UPDF. The General now command, the General soldiers only carry AK-47, but all specialized NRA and weaponry and command and control center is by the Special Forces Command, headed by Muwanga, the first son. We've been making a case. You said that the regular army holds AK-47s. Yes, if you want to see a big deal with a big gun, you will see the Special Forces Command. And you have a reserve force in this country, headed by General Salim Salak and Ranaho. First brother, if there's such a term. Now, you have General Kareka here, working with the Muwanga, Augustus Muwanga, raising some force outside the police force. Where are we headed? Where is the institutional building? I mean, as a country, we ought to, that's why, as members of parliament, myself, in my own capacity as a shadow minister, I'm raising a red flag to all Ugandans, saying, wait a minute, something horrible has happened. Countries that this is not a one-off. They're not inventing the wheel. We'll explain. Okay? Somalia did Said Barre raise such a militia. Where is Somalia as a nation? Okay? Gaddafi had such a force. They had a big one. 600,000. Yes. And the command of the population of his, and the command of his son. Where is Libya? Mubarak, Ivory Coast, Mobutu had Congolese and his kind of forces. Okay? Central African Republic. Now, wherever you've seen such trends, one, you have leaders that have, one, been ruling for many years. Only 30? You can't say that's many years. Those are many years. And at their own demise, okay, they've left a lot of havoc and the destruction of the country. Now, are we headed that way as a country called Uganda? Are we going to be accomplices and keep quiet as some few individuals? And this is also cause for the professionalization of the police force. They are really prosecutors, they are not professional. No. I can tell you it is horrible. We've been saying in Parliament, something horrible is going on. Even as the general police force suffers, okay? How do they? In terms of social welfare, poor pay, delayed salaries, poor horrible working conditions. Let me tell you, do you know why in Kampala I've been raising this point? You have traffic jam every time it rains. Why is that? It's simply because the traffic in Kampala lack protective gear. They lack raincoats. So when it rains, they get off the street. Or the traffic policemen go to the shades. They go to the shades. Wait for the rain to end. And the cars don't stop because it's raining. Consequently, every time it rains, there will be a horrible jam. And do you know how it slowed down an economy? Okay? And do you know how many hours you spend in the jam? Simply because the police person don't have I can even stretch it further and tell you that if terrorists wanted to do havoc, they should target rain. Because I've gone to universities and other checkpoints, okay? And because of rain, the police personnel have disappeared.
some of them are correct.
So I will tell you that is how now in the social welfare policemen they have uniports,
Yes.
and 3 families in one uniport. They are married. Some are married, some are not. Separated by curtains. Even where they have dormitories here in Zambia, a sitting room is one family, and what could have been a bedroom is another family. Then you have a night duty. So one family is not married. One man is not married. Is married. You know what I'm saying? When you have a night duty and you leave a bachelor in the uniport
To look after your wife.
I'm not saying that direction. And what so what happens? This is the social welfare. Now, as you look at the budget, okay, in this year's budget, the cost of public order management,
Yes.
is going to be 46 billion Ugandan shillings.
So they'll get ridiculous.
They anticipate we are going to have 20 demonstrations. And for each, they will spend 2.5 billion. Are going to spread people with perfume or whiskey? Okay, I don't know. That kind of gross amount of money. It is this kind of money that is being diverted, okay, to do this kind of political job. However, let me also pose a very clear question.
Yes.
If you are looking for crime preventers in the community, do you go massively to register university and tertiary institution students who will spend a big chunk of their time at campuses? When will they go to their respective parishes? Well, that's a magic one, because the vast majority of those young men were picked from the university, who we saw training in the barracks.
Right.
Now, how many crime preventers must university have? And if you're saying they are local community, when will students have time to be in the community? You know, university students stay in hostels and at campuses. So, for all intent and purposes, our analysis is that simply Kaihura is an effective political instrument. Let's hear from and it's an abuse, by the way. Let me say it clearly. It's an abuse of office. Okay? And constitutional and professional of him to turn a political force that should be neutral, because the biggest crisis we have in this country,
What is it?
okay, and the challenge of our day is that you have a police force for purposes of regime patrol.
Let's hear from
We have a police force that is for democratic policing. Let's hear looking after the welfare of the people.
Let's hear from the police. Mr. Ferdinand, you've had all these concerns. Is any of them legitimate?
Whatever it is actually legitimate. And you know, we don't just wake up just one morning and then we come up with an arrangement like this. These are arrangements, like earlier on indicated, that have actually been there. Because when you look at modern policing, where we have reached these days, it's more of the approaches that are actually used are more of proactive than reactive. We've been doing a lot of reactionary policing, where you wait for violence to erupt and then you respond. A crime has occurred, then you start following that. And we are really facing a lot of challenges as far as the current century actually is. Each and every other day there are people who want to walk and to work and cause violence in downtown, conflicting with the collective rights of individuals. There's intercultural conflict every now and then. Now, when we as the police, we take stock of such situations and then we say that, you know what, we really need to be proactive. See how we can work with the community to help us really in addressing some of these issues. And that is under, of course, when you identify, we are everywhere in the local communities. And when you identify them, the local communities are we are increasingly recognizing them as primary sources and recipients of a lot of breakdowns that are taking place within the community. So now, these breakdowns within the local community are actually requires local solutions, whereby you get people from different neighborhoods and then you group them and facilitate them with the basics that can help in promoting community safety. Now, this is something that has actually helped in reducing the strikes that used to be so common in most of the tertiary institutions. There was a time when Chandogo was to strike, Makerere, and we have universities throughout. Now, recent, if you've been monitoring closely, because of this proactive engagement, students really getting to know things, getting mature in their ways of thinking, and seeing to it that yes, there are other proactive avenues under which you can address problems within the university, and out of indicating the gains.
Mr. Fred Enanga, I really appreciate your explanation, but we used to have the Chiboko Squad, which the president said had ended all walk-to-work protests. What happened to the Chiboko Squad?
Now the Chiboko Squad, is something that will not actually take root. Probably by the time they were there, never had them joined before. But that will end of that. But as we talk now, there is nothing like a Chiboko Squad. During what was happening around that time, it had been indicated that these were actually volunteers who were fed up with the way that their actual rights were being actually infringed upon by people who were self-centered and had selfish interests. And so they really came out because as you could remember, during that time we had a lot of strikes that were actually taking place from Monday to Friday.
And
there was no business that was actually going on.
And Chiboko Squad ended all that?
No, it was part of it. It was part of they played their role in the way they actually played it. What I basically learned is that there was an investigation that was conducted following some complaints on who the Chiboko Squad was. I really need to find out what basically happened out of that investigation. And we also didn't I don't think it is on record that there is somebody who came out complaining against the Chiboko Squad. So I don't know.
It's a good thing. Chiboko Squad everywhere.
You really came out and castigating the Chiboko Squad and who has assaulted and reported the case so that we could refer to those cases and get to follow them and see what happened actually.
I've seen some of them operating. There's a time there was an election, I think, somewhere not far from your constituency, and the electoral commission chairman was looking on helpless as they battered people.
It was
not in Butambala. There's another constituency around it.
It is Matthias Bukoto South, I think, if I get
But talk about this Chiboko. How was it organized? What happened? They didn't walk to work.
No. First of all, I think my good friend lives in England. I don't know whether it is full of knowledge or otherwise, because there was an outcry about the Chiboko Squad. He never had it. So he never had it. That's why I'm saying he lives on Ireland either in knowledge or absence of knowledge. But he has it known. I think it is outrightly clear that the people of Uganda protested against the Chiboko Squad, and they were spot on. Now, as to whether it ended no. I think even Chiboko Squad came earlier than Walk to Work.
Kalangala Action Plan.
It was Kalangala, something earlier than that. There is a book I've been reading about the functionality and the usefulness of the modern state. World over.
Yes, very quickly.
Its primary concern, democratic governance, is to know the needs and aspiration of the people. And what worries you as you go to bed, and what worries you as you wake up. I don't think in this fair country that you are going to cage Ugandans tear gas them, police them man to man, okay, amidst poverty, corruption, extravagancy, and unemployment. You are not going to achieve that. But let me tell you, you'll never be so thorough like the communists were in Russia. That's the people. And whoever have attempted, if people don't read history, whoever has taken that route has had an outright failure world over. So whatever they are trying to do, only one results. These same people. Yes, these same people. Yes, the crime preventers. Crime preventers. Do what? Will turn against. Let's suppose imagine in a university. These are numbers 0414-348-111, 031-260-390, 031-261-390. The crime preventers. Why are people concerned about them? Do you like that? Good evening, sir. Good evening, your name?
I'm MC Government. Thank you for watching Honorable Kivumbi, Muwanga, Butambala, myself, Spokesman of the police. For me, I follow the police program because it's very paramount. It doesn't matter whether the soldier is police, even if you can keep security. Honorable Muwanga should learn that even in America, security is taken as paramount, even in Europe. And finally, I want to ask Mr. Muwanga, he comes from Butambala, what has he done for his constituency? Because last time when he went for voting, even they lacked a guest house. Imagine how...
Please don't be a guest house. Spectrum, hello.
Hello.
Yes, your name?
This is David in Uganda.
Yes, David.
Just I want to understand Enanga to compare the Kivumbi score, the Kalanga election plan with the Muwanga, and I used to hear about Muwanga and Kandagari. For those days, I don't know the vote of them.
Kivumbi scored, Kalanga action plan, Kandagari, what else? Why do you bring Kandagari at this time?
Hello.
Yes, your name?
This is Serubini Kaboa.
Yes.
Now, I don't have any mercy for the police force in Uganda. You guys, with all the corruption and the mistreatment they unleash on the public, they deserve the treatment by the government. They don't actually deserve any remuneration at all.
Hello? Yes?
Hello?
You switch off your radio and then talk to us.
Yes, this is somewhere.
Yes, sir.
I think if Kivumbi needs to have some exposure, needs to move outside the country, outside the world, and see how community policing is done. Crime prevention preventers are some of the methods of community policing. It's done what in Uganda.
Spectrum, hello?
Yes, good evening, Edmond.
Good evening, your name?
And I'm honorable Kivumbi.
Your name?
I'm Silva from County Bogo.
Silva, yes.
I think history will judge it very harshly.
Why do you say things like that? You are the scare official. Spectrum, hello?
Yes?
Yes, your name?
Reverend Silas.
Come again?
Yes, Reverend Silas.
Reverend Silas.
I think Fred Enanga should be serious. If he sick with the Kivumbi squad, this is people in Kampala.
Yes, Spectrum, hello?
Hello, my name is Kizito.
Yes, sir.
From Bari.
Yes.
I think our brothers in opposition only want crime promoters because I don't see a reason as to why they are worried about this training, because when they are selecting these people, some of them are even from the opposition, so I don't know if they should get scared.
Okay. I think we'll get right back to the studio so you can hear the views of the Honorable MP. Honorable Kivumbi, give us your own response, your own to this. I will thank the callers for the sacrifice to care about our country, but those who say world over, okay, they are crime preventers, world over their armies and police, even bad ones are world over. Oh, yes, go on. And what does it mean? For every regime that abuses its citizens, okay, it does it under good name of protecting people, serving it all. Communism was built on the notion of equality of all, okay. Hitler by the way, was also working for the superiority of Germans and for the best interest of German people. And therefore, evil thrives on the backyard of good notions. So community policing world over is premised on a given law, a given instrument, a given regulation. And it's very clear and elaborate. It's not a kangaroo, it's not hard work. So what we are trying to address here is that I don't know how one becomes a crime preventer and how they exit. Or retiring? Yeah. How do you exit? When? Okay? How do you enter? It's unknown. How you exit is unknown. How you sustain yourself there without pay, without anything. Roast chicken. You don't know. So you just can't have a country run like that. You see, Uganda has been so badly managed that anything is acceptable to the people. And there is also a group of callers in this country, yes, okay, who are paid to defend anything. So even when you receive callers, some are simply routine. I didn't know about that. They are paid to simply come here, make funny calls and defend anything. They on the payroll. So even when you assess callers, those that are routine should be received very clearly. Let's say assessed. And yes, that's why I think, in my humble view, I've said world over, this kind of organizations raise more questions than answers. All that we demand, one, have a legal framework, okay? Have a regulation. Let us have an instrument. If you really meet well. And why now? And why do you have an election coming? Yes, and why now? You have an election coming soon. Do you know what the budget of police in Uganda will be by 2019? 700 and something billion. Like a whole and the biggest majority, yes, and the biggest majority of it will be going, the largest portion of it will be going towards public order management. The question is, why do you have public order management cost rising? Why is the population restless? Why is the population restless? Now, a sensible government should have taken steps, a clear study for the pushes and causes of crime, of agitation. Well, we get a big project, we need big security to protect it. Let's hear from the spokesman for the police, Mr. Enanga. What do you say to all these callers' concerns?
Yeah, actually you didn't get the questions out. Well, yes. We still maintain that the crime prevention philosophy is a philosophy that is well adored. Our colleagues probably could not have really studied the benefits of this. They still have that conservative thinking, whereby they feel things should be held the traditional way. And even when you have the politicians the way they are, you know, yes, the police have exposed their weaknesses. They have been using a lot of violence and so on, distorting business downtown and so on, to get some of their messages. But ever since we addressed that issue, we have exposed the weakness of most of the politicians who have been using violence as a means of getting their messages down there. But my advice actually to them would be they should really look for other avenues and ways of getting to market their political messages. And
Mr. Enanga, two people called in, two concerns, one from David Linda, another from a Reverend Priest. David said, can you draw comparisons for us between the Chiboko Squad, Colonial Action Plan and Pandagari in the past? That was during the militia about you're walking around along Kampala Road, a truck comes and they say, board that vehicle, then take you to some place. Reverend Sider says, get serious. Chiboko Squad beat people in the capital. What do you say to those two concerns?
We cannot really, you can't start comparing the level of policing that we are carrying these days with what used to happen in the past during the Obote regime and so on and so forth. We have these days the police is always coming out to give accountability for their actions. People actually know their rights more than any time before. So So the way that we actually conduct ourselves, we also come out with internal measures to address cases where there is extremity in the actions of our police officers. We have a fully fledged Directorate of Human Rights and Legal Services. We are being guided now by the Anti-Torture Act, and anybody who is really coming out to complain against our policemen is being charged under that act. And we are having the professional standard unit, which we have actually rolled out to address complaints against police officers who have gone outside the principles of this institution. But so we cannot actually, in this era where the public is more informed than ever, where the police is more every time we are going to Parliament, even before our colleague, before you there, and really explaining ourselves out and accounting for each and every penny that we get, accounting for our actions. And so I really, we can't go back to what we are arguing about the crime prevention groups that who is now saying there used to be a lot of, let's get serious really, and the students have been taken through a lot of courses that are actually beneficial to them. They have been taken through leadership, they have been taken through entrepreneurship. We even invited the leader of opposition who came with about 6 members of the opposition, and they lectured the students and they appreciated this course. So I really don't know where my colleague is really coming from.
Mr. Enanga, before we go, these youths, are they all NRM supporters, or can you get some from BP? And
no, we have the volunteers who have been coming are not subscribing. Have not subscribed either to the NRM, either to the Democratic Party or the youth. We are as neutral and as transparent in getting whoever is ready to, because first of all, these guys are a group of university students who initially having seen the benefits of the students from Material University who are actually the lead students who were the lead students in the whole of the...
We have to go, our time is up, Mr. Enanga. I must thank you very much for coming to joining us on Spectrum now. That's Mr. Enanga, spokesperson for the Uganda Police Force. Thank you for coming tonight. Also Honorable Mohamed Kivumbi, Shadow Minister for Internal Affairs, also Member of Parliament for Butambala County. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for calling in as well and for listening. And I've been your host, Edmond. Spectrum will be back tomorrow. Right now you can hear the news.
Dr. H.D. Tenner here.